In this video, you will learn how to create secure site-to-site IPsec connections to your multiple local sites. We're going to configure connections with two sites that use Sophos XG and Cisco ASA firewalls. First, let's configure the cloud site. Log into the Cloud Console. In the Disaster Recovery tab, select the Multi-Site IPsec VPN option. The VPN gateway with the public IP will be configured automatically. Copy the public IP address. You will need it when you configure the local sites. Create cloud networks. Add the first cloud network that will be connected to the first site. Define your network address and mask. The network segment should not overlap with your local network segments. Add the second cloud network that will be connected to the second site. Now create an IPsec connection to the first site with Sophos XG firewall. Define the name, Las Vegas Sophos XG, and public IP address of your Sophos XG firewall. Generate a pre-shared key and save it to paste on the local site, or you can use your own key. Define the network policies to the local network segment in CIDR format. That should have connectivity to the first cloud network via this IPsec connection. Multiple policies can be defined. Define the IPsec IKE security settings. At least one of the defined security algorithms should be selected later on the local site for IKE Phase 1 and Phase 2. We recommend using the default settings. The startup action defines which side initiates the IPsec connection. By default, the cloud site will wait for connection initiation. Change the setting to start if you want the cloud site to initiate the connection. Route mode is usually used by Cisco ASA firewalls. Add the connection. In the same way, add the connection to the default site with Cisco ASA firewall, Irvine Cisco ASA. Only change the default startup action from add to start or route, since Cisco ASA firewall. Now, let's configure the first local site, Las Vegas with Sophos XG firewall. Open the Sophos XG Firewall Management Console. Navigate to VPN configuration. Add a new IPsec policy. Give it a name, DR policy. Select a key exchange, IKE version 2. Define IKE Phase 1 settings. Key life, rekey margin like in the cloud. DH group, encryption, authentication. Select one or several supported by the cloud. Define IKE Phase 2 settings. PFS group, same as Phase 1. Key life encryption authentication, select one or several supported by the cloud. Deed the peer detection configuration same as in the cloud. Save the policy. Add IPsec connection. Define the name to DR Cloud, connection type, site to site, and gateway type. Initiate the connection. While in the cloud, we set up the startup action add, which means the cloud site will wait for the connection initiation. Select the encryption policy defined earlier in the DR policy. Select authentication, pre-shared key, and copy the pre-shared key generated in the cloud. Select the listening interface with public IP. Define the remote gateway public IP address, which is the cloud VPN gateway's public IP address. Configure the local and remote subnet policies. Network policies should exactly match the cloud site configuration. Add the connection. Click on the status icon and enable the tunnel. When the status becomes active, green, it means IPsec Phase 1 is up. When the connection status is green, it means IPsec Phase 2 is up. Check the status in the cloud. When the line becomes green, that means the Phase 1 connection is up. The numbers 1 and 1 are up, meaning 1 of 1 network policies in Phase 2 are up. On the local site, let's check the network policies. They are also up. Great. Now let's configure the second local site, Irvine with Cisco ASA Firewall. Log into the Cisco ASA ASDM Management Console. In the Wizards menu, select VPN Wizards Site to Site. Read the introduction, then click Next. Define the peer IP address, which is the Cloud VPN Gateway's public IP address. Select the external interface with the public IP address. On the Traffic to Protect step, define the network policies. They should exactly match the cloud site configuration. On the Security step, choose Simple Configuration and paste the pre-shared key defined earlier in the cloud. Check the box NAT exempt and choose External Interface. Complete the wizard and navigate to Configuration Site-to-Site VPN. Click on the Create a Connection profile and edit it. Check the group policy settings by clicking Manage. Make sure that only IKE version 2 is enabled in the tunneling protocols. Idle timeouts defines the time when the tunnel will be disconnected after a timeout when there is no traffic. In the IPsec settings, IKE version 2 settings, check the encryption algorithms. Make sure that in IKE policy Phase 1, at least one of those selected in the cloud algorithms are defined for encryption, integrity, DH group, and set lifetime, with the lifetime in the cloud for Phase 1 set to 28,800 seconds, 8 hours. In the cloud, the timeout is defined in seconds. Same in the IPsec proposal, Phase 2, define at least one of the selected cloud algorithms for encryption and integrity. Go to the Advanced Settings, Crypto Map Entry, and enable Perfect Forward Secrecy. Then select one of those configured in the Cloud Diffie-Hellman group in Phase 2, Group 15, for example. Uncheck NAT-T. Make sure that Security Association lifetime is the same as the cloud lifetime for Phase 2. Now let's make the cloud an initiator of the connection by switching the startup action from route to start. Apply changes. Now the cloud initiates the connection. It's successful. You can see the line is green. That means the Phase 1 connection is established. Network policies 1 of 1 are up, which means the Phase 2 connection is established. Check the same in the Cisco ASA ASDM by going to Monitoring VPN.